Hey, so the groove allotment is going bite-sized, and in this delicious mouthful I'm going to show you a really simple EQ trick that engineers use all over the world in live situations, in studio situations, to find in particular problem frequencies or particular bands that need cutting or boosting. So yeah, keep watching and hopefully you'll find some tasty morsels for you to use in the studio. Before we dive into the clip, just to say, if you find this video helpful, please hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any more tips and tricks coming your way. If you don't find it helpful, then hit subscribe anyway, because the next video might change your life. Anyway, you're saying, get on with it. What is this tip? Well, I'm going to show you. I use this all the time live. I use it in the studio. And what we do is we simply boost a narrow band of frequencies and then sweep through. And when we get to a particular maybe problem or some frequencies that, I mean, we might want to boost, but when, you know, it overexcites those frequencies, and it's a very quick way of finding things. Let me show you, because that's the easiest way, because that explanation was probably rubbish. Here we have a pingy snare. Let's have a listen. Do you hear that? Bing, bing. So, using this trick, we're going to find that ping, and then we can cut it, boost it, do whatever we want with it. Here's Waves EQ, HEQ. I'm using this because it's nice and visual. Let's turn that off. I'm going to turn off the analyzer, so, you know, all we're using our ears here is our ears. So, we're going to boost. We're going to narrow the band. I'm going to go for digital 2, because I know that that is quite surgical. But let's have a listen. Let's start low, sweep up, and when we get to that ring, you will hear it jump out. There we go. There it is. So, you know, just give it a chance ears to reset, and then let's start cutting until we feel, yeah, we've got it under control. Okay, that's about -8 decibels. Because we're using a really narrow band, it's not really affecting the overall tone of the snare. So let's just have a listen before and after. That's good, it tames it, there's still a bit there, we could cut more if we wanted, but that's doing a good job. Next example. So, this is a really common problem when recording acoustic instruments, is leakage, bleed from the headphones of the click. Really common on drum overheads at the end of a song when the cymbals decay, or a section, and then suddenly that beep, beep, beep. Where's that coming from? Especially with drums, because they need the click really loud in the other bits. In this case, we've got a piano chord that's just sustaining, and as the piano chord dies away, you can just hear, if you listen carefully, some bleed of the click. Okay, now that's quite quiet, but it's loud enough to be unacceptable, so we're going to use the same trick to find it and cut it. Now let's find a bit where there's just click at the end, because that's slightly easier. Let's turn it up as well, because it is very quiet, but if we turn it up we'll really be able to hear what we're doing. Turn off the graph. Graphs are actually quite useful for finding the frequencies, but for this video I just want to use my ears. There we go. That's the first one, so let's cut it. Right, the next one, which we know is higher, so we might as well sweep down. Got it. Alright, now let's cut it. Now we don't need to completely get rid of it. All we need to do is get the level of the click quiet enough so that the piano sound masks, so it hides it underneath the piano. Right, let's listen with the piano. Let's turn the volume down first. See if we can hear it. So, a couple more examples. Let's listen to this acoustic guitar. Okay, I noticed something straight away there that we need to find. That bass note on the first one, the D chord, D minor chord, so the D is a lot louder than the second chord, the F major 7 chord. So let's find those low frequencies. There's obviously a resonance that's overexciting, and let's control them. There we go. You see, as soon as we get to those frequencies, it's a bit of a problem to a lot of a problem. Reset your ears. There's much more balance in the low frequencies there now. Last of all, let's have a listen to a bass guitar. I'm putting it through an amp emulator. Bass guitars often, there's a lot in the low mids we need to find. There's a lot of energy there, and usually, depending on the track and the amp and the mic and everything, but usually we have to do a bit of cutting. So let's just have a listen. Yeah, there's definitely something in there. Let's just sweep and see what jumps out of us. I'm just going to pull the gain down because I'm pretty sure when we get to those low mids, it's going to go a bit bonkers and distort if we're not careful. So you can hear when we get to the frequencies in all these examples where there's too much energy and we need to cut, your ears just go into sort of an overload. Yeah, so around 150 Hertz my ears were going into overload. So let's just pull that down. Put the volume back up now. Definitely cleans out some of that tubbiness. I also noticed while sweeping there was some quite nice low energy going on there. A little boost like that also, I know we're going off topic here, but can compensate for the cut nicely. If you look at the famous Pultec EQ curves, the kind of cut and boost at the same frequency trick does that sort of thing, which is one of the reasons it sounds so pleasant. So there we go, there's a few examples. So what would I advise you do? I'd open a mix session, get a EQ and get sweeping.